What's up, guys? David Land here, bringing you my second full unboxing and review of the second wave of the GreenLight Collectibles Verizon IndyCar Series line of 1/64 scale die-cast Indy cars. There's a couple drivers in here that have never gotten die-cast before. You're seeing the first Hondas in the line for this year. It's going to be a great review. I can't wait to share these cars with you. You're watching David Land on YouTube, and here we go. So the first car we're going to take a look at is Jack Hawk 9000. I paid $8 for it. This is a completely different driver. We've never gotten a die-cast of him before. Fantastic, so happy. This is the one time I'm going to show you the packaging because it's the same essentially for all the cars. You see the Verizon IndyCar Series logo on my face, some Bridgestone Firestone stuff. Unfortunately, you do have to destroy the packaging on these to get them out. I usually cut along the bottom and then along the side, and out should pop your die-cast. Pretty simple. So here it is, the Jack Hawksworth die-cast 1/64 scale. I am so happy this got made. You guys know I'm a really big fan of kind of the more obscure drivers getting made, and this is no exception. While many, including myself, believe that Jack Hawksworth is a star of the future in IndyCar, he's not quite there yet. Not a lot of people know about him. But you can learn more about him by reading some of this stuff on the back of the trading card you get in the GreenLight IndyCar series. Here's the front of the card. Not too much to write home about, but this is what you're really interested in, the die-cast. Of course, all these GreenLights have die-cast metal chassis and body and rubber tires. So you're paying the same amount of money you would for a Lino die-cast, and you're getting so much more for your money. I love the paint scheme the AJ Foyt team has had over the last, well, Lord, it's been 10 years since ABC Supply came on, and this paint scheme seems to get better every year. I love how they integrate the little swoop there with the sponsor blocker. It looks great. ABC Supply, of course, is a fantastic sponsor. They probably commissioned both of these die-casts to be made. It's the first time AJ Foyt's run 2 full-time cars in years, probably since about 2004, 2005. But it's great to have AJ, ABC Supply, Honda, all these guys, the coyote symbol, so right there on the nose cone, such staples of IndyCar racing at this point. It's so great to have die-casts of these cars, and it's great to have an obscure Honda car. For those of you who do IndyCar stop motions, because I know there's a few of you, this is one you're going to want to pick up because you never know when they're going to make another 41 ABC Supply car. But boy, oh boy, am I glad to have this one. I love the black end plates there. The inside of the end plates are black. And it just sells it. It kind of sells that it's an aero kit, even though it's on the original DW12. And by the way, apparently GreenLight is tooling up the aero kits, so we will be getting the aero kits next year. Actually, the first aero kit we're going to get is the Juan Pablo Montoya Indy 500 winner. So look for a review of that very soon. On to the next car. AJ Foyt and Takuma Sato is a match made in heaven. No, really. They're both incredibly aggressive drivers. They give 110%, and it sure is great to have Takuma driving for AJ. It's so exciting to see that combination. It's unfortunate that it's only really produced one win so far, but I hope it will continue into the future because it's entertaining as all heck to watch. Of course, you're seeing a pattern here. This is the second ABC Supply car. Your eyes are not deceiving you. We got both the 14 and the 41 this year. It's fantastic. So let's read a little bit about Takuma. You can pause the video if you want to read more about him. There's the front of the card. So let's take a look at Takuma's ride. Pretty much the same as the Hawksworth car, except for you get Panasonic on the engine cover there. You get this little ELS logo, which is not, I think that's ELS. Kind of hard to tell. Maybe you guys will be able to see it if you crank the 1080p up. And you get Takuma Sato on the seat insert there. Of course, 14, but virtually the same paint scheme with you, Japan. Actually, this is really cool to see these cars back to back because you can see the difference in the detail. and it's really cool. Honestly, I would, you know, if you're gonna pick up one of them, you should pick up both of them, because I love teammates together. Like, looks great. Like, that's awesome. Of course, spotters probably have a hard time figuring out which car is coming around the corner, but you know, I love it. This is the kind of stuff I like to buy. The teams, you know, you get both of them. Honestly, it's really, really awesome. Now, it doesn't seem to be any more differences than the With You Japan, the Takuma Sato, Panasonic, and the but it's great. It's great to see the level of detail that they're willing to put on there. I think other diecast manufacturers would just kind of go, just slap a 14 on the Hawksworth car. But that's not what they did. And I really appreciate it. Really appreciate them for that, because in the end result, the product looks great. The car looks great. And you know, I'm really excited. I'm really glad to have this. So let's move on to the next car. Hey, it's your old pal Castroneves. We're going to review the Shelby Power Nitro Plus car. Yeah, it looks great. I'm so happy. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here, Helio. I can't keep that guy away. Anytime I get an Helio Castroneves car out, he just shows up. Hey, get out of here, Helio. I know the IndyCar season is like 8 months, or the off season is like 8 months, but go find someone else's review to ruin. Anyway. Sorry about that, but in all seriousness, this is a really cool car, even though we never actually got to see it run. I think this was the scheme that was supposed to be at the ill-fated Brazil race that didn't happen, of course, because the DW12 bodies were supposed to run at that race, but alas, we never saw it. But we did see the sponsor combination at Indianapolis and Pocono. And let's read all about my good pal Helio Castroneves there. You can pause the video and check that out if you'd like. And then there's the front of the card, pretty much the same as the Hitachi card. But let's take a look at the V-Power Nitro Plus shell car. I have to say, I was definitely a bigger fan of the yellow submarine version of this car. In fact, I actually kind of like the 2012 version a little bit better of the Shell V-Power scheme. But that being said, it's pretty cool. It's okay, as Juan Pablo Montoya would say. This one actually kind of got out later than most everything else. I don't know if that's because Roger Penske, of course, was trying to be pretty secretive about the scheme or whatnot, what have you. This actually probably will look really good with my Juan Pablo Montoya diecast. You can check out the card right here in the corner to see that review, because the color scheme is fairly similar. I'll have to post a picture on Instagram or something of these two cars next to each other, because I think the schemes are pretty similar. I have to say it's a pretty nice diecast. I kind of think it's a little plain. That's more Roger Penske's fault than GreenLight's fault, though, because GreenLight, I mean, they knock it out of the park. They really do. I mean, like, this looks great. It's a great piece. No errors that I can see. Just a great, solid-looking diecast. And if you're a big Helio fan, you know, you have to buy it. You're obligated, right? So let's move on to the next car in the wave. This is one that a lot of people are probably going to want to pick up, because I know James Hinchcliffe has got a lot of fans. And this car, I have to say, is pretty awesome. Of course, this is the Aero Electronic Schmidt Peterson Motorsports Honda. This car, of course, in the black livery that we saw for the first few races of the season, and of course it won at NOLA Motorsports Park, which will probably end up being the only race at NOLA Motorsports Park, and thank God it was a terrible race. The people who were on the Skype call with me when that race was going on knew my feelings on that race and that track. Ay, ay, ay. But here you go. You've got the description of Hinch. You can check that out. Pretty short description, of course. It'll probably be longer next year, because boy, did he have a weird off season, or a weird season. Of course, injured in that horrendous crash at Indianapolis. Thankfully, he was able to recover fully. I even shook his hand at Pocono. It was great to see Hinch there, and it was great to be able to see that, because boy, oh boy, I have to say, at Indianapolis, when, as my cat runs by, I don't know if you heard that, but in Indianapolis, when he had that crash, we were down in the pits, and it was not looking good for a few moments there. A very, very scary moment. So glad to have Hinch back. But this car looks awesome. Awesome to see the Lucas oil pretty prominent on the car. Of course, I'm a Colts fan, so what is he doing? My cat is going nuts right now. It's cool to see the steampunk thing. I'm a Colts fan, so the Lucas oil is awesome to see. Big ol' on the wing there. And then you've got the flames and the really nice looking diecast, and I'm really happy that GreenLight was able to bring this car out. Of course, this is the second Schmidt car they've done. Of course, they did the HP Pagano car, which is still one of my favorite cars GreenLight has ever produced. Pretty nice looking piece. I wonder if they'll do the gold chrome one next year. Of course, this car can double as a Ryan Briscoe car or a Connor Daly car. Both of those drivers drove this car at some point during the season. You know, it's a versatile car, a versatile Honda, and definitely one I would suggest picking up. Love it. One of my favorite paint schemes and one of my favorite drivers in all of IndyCar, Marco Andretti. Boy, is he an Andretti though. The luck just isn't there. He was going for the perfect season in terms of laps completed this year, and he wasn't able to do it. A part broke heading into the tunnel turn at his home race at Pocono, and unfortunately took him out of contention for doing that. Unfortunately, because he would have completed all the laps because he completed them all at Sonoma. But too bad for Marco, and hopefully he gets that coveted Indy 500 win very soon. Maybe at the 100th, who knows. Here is his description. You can hit the pause button. Wait a second. Really? His English Bulldog Moody? Really? They added that to the description. Yeah, well, that's the card. Here's the car. And interesting to note, you see that big space right there? In fact, you see that big space right there? I wonder what was supposed to go there. Oh yeah, United Fiber and Data, because they stiffed Michael Andretti like $2 million for their sponsorship last year. Yep, that's a thing that happened. But anyway, it was really funny. I'm going to tell a little antidote here. Antidote, or what? Something like that. Anecdote. There we go. That's the word. As I show you the car, kind of give you a 360 view of the car. When I was hanging out with Rob and Brian at Pocono, they're big autograph fans and they like getting their autographs. I'm not a big fan of getting autographs. So I really almost never get them. But we saw Michael Andretti, and I'm like, "Hey, Rob, that's Michael." And he's like, "Oh my God, I gotta go get Michael." So he did, and he had Michael sign a UFD Hinchcliffe car. It was the second time in the weekend I thought Rob was gonna get punched in the face. The first time was when he tried to ask Juan Pablo Montoya for an autograph when he was coming out of the bathroom. Juan Pablo Montoya, that is. Luckily, both times Rob avoided getting punched in the face, but it was interesting because where the UFD logo was, that was right where Michael signed over. Was it intentional, unintentional, who knows, but it was funny nonetheless. But taking a look at this diecast, I have to say, it's fantastic. I love this paint scheme. I loved it last year when it was the 25 car, but of course GreenLight didn't produce one because Auto World did and they screwed it up. But I digress. Interesting to see how the Honda is sloped on this car, like it is on the Aero kit. Except for this is on the DW12. Cool to see Dr. Pepper. Love me some Dr. Pepper. Should probably drink less of it because that's got a lot of sugar and caffeine that I don't need in my young body. But yeah, it's really cool to see this Snapple car. It's a great paint scheme. Kind of reminds you of that Johnny Lightning Special. I kind of preferred the RC Cola version of this, but it's pretty good. It's cool to see Mutual of Omaha as well on this car. We don't see Merchant first. I guess they came on later in the year, but love these Andretti Autosport cars, and definitely proud to add this Marco car to my collection. So here's another guy that has a really big fan following in the diecast community, myself included. Shout out to Buddy and Matt Faust, my two pals who are even bigger Ryan Hunter-Reay fans than I am. But boy, oh boy, is it great to get a DHL Ryan Hunter-Reay car. We've gotten a few over the last few years. In fact, I've got the Indy 500 winner in the background that you probably see. But I love this paint scheme, I love this car, and this driver, he's pretty good too. It was great to see him win in person again at Pocono. Second time I've seen Ryan Hunter-Reay win in person, the first of course being the 2014 Indy 500. It was great to see him win two races this year, Iowa and Pocono, because he's really had a fairly lousy season by Ryan Hunter-Reay standards, especially after he's gotten in this DHL ride. He's just been spectacular, winning the championship and the Indy 500 in 2012 and 2014 respectively. There you can pause the video there and check out his card, what it says. Pretty standard stuff there on the front. Let's check out the diecast. This is really cool, and it's definitely different than last year's scheme, particularly because of AutoNation, who actually has really activated their sponsorship. I actually saw a few advertisements with Ryan Hunter-Reay in the full suit, his full DHL suit, plug-in AutoNation like on CNN. It was really cool to see that. And then you see Racing for Cancer. That, of course, is Ryan's big charitable organization. He, of course, 28, his number is because of the 28 million people in the United States, I believe, with cancer. I think that's what it is. It's something like that. But the DHL color scheme really, really rocks. I've been a fan of this color scheme ever since the Penske Porsche RS Spiders. Those things rocked, and this rocks pretty well too. Really cool scheme. A little bit crooked on the wing there, as you can see. That's kind of something that happens with these DW12 mold Indy cars. The rear wings kind of get wonky, but at least the bumpers are straight. In fact, all these cars have the great bumpers. The nice straight bumpers. ShopHonda.com. Oh man, I love this. There's not too much to say about it, but at the same time, there's so much to say about it because I absolutely love this scheme. The driver's great. Car's great. It's a race winner. What's not to like? Pick this thing up. You gotta love him. And finally, my personal most anticipated diecast in this whole wave. This is the 26 Andretti TV car of Carlos Munoz. And I love this car so much that when Joe Donahue, check out his channel in the card right there, did the Brickles IndyCar series, a stop motion series, and he had signups, and I jumped on this car. I really wanted this car because it's so awesome. I love this paint scheme, love this car. And Carlos Munoz, if you guys don't know about Carlos Munoz, let me flash a picture up on the screen. You can see three cars. This is turn 1 at Indianapolis. I'm sitting in, I think, E or B stand, something like that, but I'm very high up in turn 1. And I snapped this photo. And it's an interesting photo because it totally tells you everything you need to know about Carlos Munoz. The first car in the shot is Ed Carpenter. Of course, we know Ed Carpenter so very fast in Indianapolis. He was the pole sitter in 13 and 14 for the 500. That guy knows how to get around the track. Look how high his line is. And just behind him is Ryan Hunter-Reay. Of course, we know he's very brave and very fast in Indianapolis. He is just a little bit lower than Carpenter. Third car in the frame. Below the white line is Carlos Munoz. This dude is brave. And that braveness in the cockpit is complemented by a really humble guy outside of the cockpit. Very friendly from what I've seen. I actually haven't really talked to him all that much, but my friends Brian, Rob, and Brody have all had really great experiences with him, and he's a really, really cool guy. In fact, he's kind of miffed that this car is still not on the correct aero kit, from what I understand. But and the diecast, by the way, he knows all about the diecast. It's interesting. I'm surprised we don't have Carlos Munoz on some of these reviews. But there you go. Pretty short description there. You can check out that if you're a big fan of Carlos. Gotta love this car. And let's take a closer look at it. A really cool paint scheme. Definitely an improvement over last year's kind of bland white and green paint scheme. Of course, Andretti TV is powered by Sensei. Sensei, according to Brody, my pal, who's pretty up to date on the IndyCar stuff, even more so than me, like in terms of sponsorship, especially of Andretti Autosport. Sensei is like a web building thing, and so they sponsor and kind of help promote the Andretti empire. Bell Pharma. I'm not really sure what that is. I'm sure it's some sort of like Colombian food thing. You can see something else, another pharma with a PH, I see. ShopHonda.com, Colombia, which loves supporting their drivers ever since Roberto Guerrero, and then of course Juan Pablo Montoya. You can see Carlos, does that say Carlos Munoz, or does that say something else? I'm not sure. So small, you can hardly tell. Snapple, cool to see that on the car. Some of these sponsors are kind of hard to read because they're white on bright green. But nonetheless, you can see going down, there's Carlos Munoz's symbol. Most Andretti drivers, most IndyCar drivers, I misspoke. Most IndyCar drivers have like special symbols that they use for their branding. Graham Rahal and Joseph Newgarden, I know for sure, also have those. You can see little tiny Bell Pharma there. Great tire detail, really great, just overall great detail on this car. I absolutely love this paint scheme. And I'm so glad to have gotten this car finally. I looked for it all May, and I finally, once I got to Pocono, finally got to pick it up. So I'm so happy to finally share this IndyCar review with you guys. And let's bring it in for a group shot and some final thoughts. So there it is, Wave 2 of the Verizon IndyCar series from GreenLight. What a fantastic wave. I love the fact that we got some small teams involved. There's definitely a great variety in terms of the colors and the teams. Just great. You can pick these up, I think, at shopindycar.com, shop.indycar.com. You can also, I would say you could find them at the races, but there aren't any more races for at least half a calendar year, unfortunately. You can find them at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway gift shop. I think the local Diecast dealers should have a few of these, like motorsports shows, maybe at a NASCAR race, I don't know. I haven't personally seen any at any NASCAR races, but thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to donate to the Wilson Children's Fund if you've got a moment. The links should be in the description for that. That's helping out Justin Wilson's family. And check out the Pocono vlog if you're interested in any other IndyCar content on my channel. I did a full vlog of the Pocono weekend as I attended that race, and it was a lot of fun despite the tragedy that happened. So I would suggest checking that out because it's pretty interesting. So thank you guys so much for watching. This will probably be the last IndyCar review until the Juan Pablo Montoya Indy 500 winner comes out, but I'm so excited for that to come out, and I'm gonna do a full unboxing review and analysis of the changes that they've made to the tooling. I can't wait. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more IndyCar racing content. All sorts of fun stuff coming up on the channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube, and we'll see ya in the next video.